Firstly, I take this opportunity to thank the management of this university to provide me the opportunity to deliver this talk on the quality assurance and accreditation awareness seminar for the nutrition and dietetics degree program being run over here. My presentation will be comprised of main components. The first component will be the introduction of National Agriculture Accreditation Council. Second will be what is the quality assurance, and third would be how we accredit a degree program. And lastly, it will be what is the impact of accreditation using the data of the last 14 years we have practiced in this country. So this will be a bilingual. I will be speaking English and Urdu both with the, which will be more convenient to me as well. But my request will be even the faculty and the students who are not following me whatsoever I am talking, they can stop me over there, raise the question, make clear himself or herself, and then we will go ahead. Because this awareness seminar is mainly for your understanding how the accreditation is being done by the NAEAC. So I will initiate from the introduction of National Agriculture Education Accreditation Council. So you can see this is a saying of Albert Einstein that we are responsible for preparing our students to address the problems we cannot foresee with the knowledge that has not been yet developed, using the technology not yet invented. The problems we have cannot be solved at the same level of thinking at which we created them. So this is a challenge for the university, for the institution, and for NAEAC itself, that we have to produce our graduates which have the ability to analyze the situation and suggest the solution given the scenario at that particular age. Our accreditation council, you see there are a list of accreditation councils. The first 5 councils where the word national is being at the start of the council, these all 5 councils are established by the Higher Education Commission, and below that you see the Pakistan word is dominant, that all councils which have the word at the start Pakistan, that are established by the National Assembly and have more authoritative to do the accreditation as compared to the councils established by the HEC. The main difference between these councils, the execution of the accreditation program, is that the established by the Higher Education Commission are more hands-holding, cooperative, and try to improve the situation, given situation, within the resources available to that institution. There are some issues which do not require the financial resources, which need improvement. They are just can be improved by just the executive orders and the decision at the proper time. But anyhow, this you can see the list over here, and this is also the continuation of those lists. And then we are come to the National Agriculture Accreditation Council. This was established in February 2005, and going through the different processes, it started its functioning in June 2008. Since then, it is being accrediting the 26 disciplines in agriculture and allied sciences. Council is governed by a board of 25 members. Chairperson and vice chairperson both are appointed by the chairman, Higher Education Commission, for a period of 4 years. Then there are 2 representatives from the different ministries. First one is the Ministry of Science and Technology, and the second one Ministry of Food Security and Research. They nominate their representatives for a period of 4 years, which are approved by the chairman, Higher Education Commission, and notified for a period of 4 years. Then there are 7 agriculture universities. Deans of agriculture faculty, by virtue of their position, are the member of our governing board. There are provincial DGs of agriculture research. They are also member by their virtue of their position. And as far as they are the DGs, they are the member of our governing board. Then the next is the provincial agriculture departments representatives, and these are 5 at the moment. Still we are waiting from the GB nomination, and he will be, if we receive that one, he will also be a part of our governing board, and in that way we will be having 26. Then there are 4 representatives from the agro industry. They are also for a period of 4 years. So the tenure of the chairperson of NAEAC is 4 years. So every member have the tenure of 4 years, and after the 4 years it is replaced by the chairman, Higher Education Commission. Our mission is to improve the standard and quality of agriculture and allied education based on the established policies, procedures, criteria prescribed by the Higher Education Commission to meet the emerging challenges of knowledge economy. Our objectives, the most important is to implement a comprehensive program of accreditation of the agriculture and allied degree program. Second, to ensure the compatibility with international standards, norms and trends of accreditation. Thirdly, to assure the quality of agriculture and allied degree program to make them globally competitive. And lastly, to improve the competitiveness and level of job placement of agriculture and allied graduates. Here I would like that our agriculture education system has been adopted by from the USA. It is early 70s when this semester system was introduced in our country, and the agriculture universities were the pioneer in this way, and the system of agriculture in USA was adapted as such. So the graduates from Pakistan getting the jobs abroad do not need to go for a competitive exam. Unlike the doctors and the engineers, they have to pass through their examination and then get the job overseas. But our graduates have the liberty to get the job based on the degree in Pakistan. This is simply because we have adopted at that time the education system which was being implemented over there, and with the passage of the time we have been trying to benchmark our curriculum, our practical skills and our other allied requirements along with the international universities. So that's why our graduates have the liberty to get the job without going through the international any competitive exam. Now, how many agriculture and allied disciplines and the institutes we are dealing? This is a list of 14 disciplines, including the soil science, horticulture, food science and technology, food science and nutrition, entomology, plant pathology, forestry and range management, agriculture economics, plant protection, plant breeding and genetics, agriculture extension, animal sciences and agronomy. These are the 12 disciplines listed over here, and these are the 12 disciplines further which are listed over here: weed science, agriculture chemistry, agriculture biotechnology, climate change and climate studies, crop physiology, seed science, marketing and agriculture business, wildlife management, environmental sciences, poultry sciences, human nutrition and dietetics, fisheries and aquaculture. These are the subjects, 5 subjects, wildlife management. These are the 5 subjects which has been added in the list of under the purview of NAEAC during 2000, late 18 or early 19, I guess, 2019. Since then, we are accrediting these disciplines also. There are 3 subjects which has been not added over here. Overall, we are dealing with the 27 subjects, including the farm mechanization, water management, and there are 2-3 more, rural development and all that. When we started working, we were dealing with the 17 institutions all over the country, but now we are dealing with the over 104 institutions. If we see the breakup of these universities, at that time agriculture universities were 4, now these are 8. Agriculture faculties in general universities, these are 2 at that time, but now it is 8. Agriculture Institute, this is the PFI Peshawar 1, it is the same. Sub-campuses, at that time there was no sub-campuses, but now we have the different sub-campuses, and we have 5 sub-campuses. Agriculture colleges, that is in Balochistan, we have 1. Previously it was 2, 5. So those 3 have been upgraded to the university. Agriculture related departments in general universities, at that time there were 5, now it is 40. And recently the 5 programs we have added in that program, initially it was not included, but now these are the 42 institutions which are giving the education on those disciplines. So in this way we are dealing with the 104 institutions. This is the list of the activities being carried out by the National Agriculture Education Accreditation Council. The first column you can see, that is just the listing of the activities of the council, and on the right side year wise we have given the achievements in each activity. So up till now we have 622 visits for accrediting the different programs in the country. Zero visit and accreditation visit are 2 different things. In zero visit, basically we have a preliminary visit and analyze the situation, giving them their plus point and their weak points. Weak points, I mean where the areas where the improvement is required, in that sense, which can be improved by giving some attention, either financial or the administrative, so then you can come up with improve that area. Then we have the awareness seminar. Up till now we have given 139 awareness seminar. Annual report we have published each and every year. This is the routine activity of the each and every institution almost. Then the financial statements we submit to the Higher Education Commission. Council meetings, sometimes it is the only ones, but for the last 4 years we are conducting 2 council board meetings every year. We cannot proceed ahead until and unless we get each and every activity approved by our council board. And at the initial stage we get it approved for the next year, and then we start working on the midway. We submit the progress to them, and then we seek their guidance or their approval for anything which have been left over, and we add it in the second meeting in that way. Then the parent-student alert. Normally Higher Education Commission publish this in the social media and the print media too, but sometimes National Agriculture Education Accreditation Council too publish it in the social and print media. Up till now we have given only the 5 parent-student alerts, indicating that those institutions which are not accredited by the relevant council, students should not get their job, not get their admission over there, so that their finances cannot be wasted. Of course, at the start of the way, when you are going to evaluate a program, we need the evaluators, and we have started in 2008, and we gave the trainings to them, and we prepared a pool, and among the pools available resource persons specialized in that particular field, we get their services hired, and then we use them as a evaluator. But recently, when our current chairperson, Dr. Fazul Hassan Said took over, so he wrote the letters to all universities and got the nominations. In that way, we have got round about 480 evaluators, personals in different disciplines, and we have trained them in different sessions. And we started from this Peshawar, and we ended up in the SAU Tandojam, Sindh, and we have now a huge number of evaluators, their services we hire and accredit our routine programs. In this way, we see the total number of activities each year, and the grand total is 1005 activities carried out up till now. Now, over here, my introduction to the NAEAC is over, and now I am moving towards the second part of my presentation, that is what is the quality assurance and system and accreditation. So for this purpose, firstly we will see what is the quality of education. There are different ways. You can see a good quality education is one that provides all learners with capabilities they require to become economically productive, develop sustainable livelihoods, contribute to peaceful living in global societies, and enhance the individual well-being. That is the first criteria of the quality of the education. Second, education that is meaningful, worthwhile, responsive to the individual's social needs. Thirdly, universities have evolved as centers for imparting the education and knowledge creation in the world's second millennium. Though these have influenced the creation and development of societies as we see them today. Economically developed societies have high quality universities and other knowledge centers as compared to the less developed countries. So this is how we define the quality of the education. Now, what is the accreditation? There are two ways to define the accreditation. First one is an assessment based formal judgment which declares that the quality of a particular program of the institution meets the defined preset standards. The same thing can be said as a process by which an institution or program evaluates its educational activities and seeks independent judgment to confirm that it is substantially achieves its objectives and generally equal in quality to comparable institutions and is competent to carry out the specific program. This is how we define the accreditation. If we further see, accreditation or the quality of education can be divided into two portions. The first one is the quality assurance and the second one is the quality enhancement. Although both are interchangeable, but in the quality assurance, an independent external peer review based evaluation process of education activities of institutions against the predetermined criteria and standards. This is what we call as the external quality assurance, and the quality enhancement is an internal process based on efforts undertaken by the individuals, organizations to regularly plan, act, monitor and assess to achieve the desired levels. This is what we call as internal assessment, and if we combine these two, internal and external evaluation, and try to improve those areas which has been identified by two ways and meet the minimum requirement of accreditation, that is in our case 65% marks. I will be discussing in detail. Any institution who is getting the 65% mark, that degree is being considered as the accredited degree. Below 65% no accreditation, that program is considered as a deferred program, and we normally give a grace period of 1 year to remove or to overcome those deficiencies which has been pinpointed in these categories or in those reports. Now, why increasing the emphasis on the quality? The reason is there is a globalization of standards, decreasing state funding for education, increasing the accountability, competitive alternative models of higher education, increasing the market-oriented education and developing trust in quality of output. This is the most important. If there is some institution is highly accredited and falls under the higher degree category, for example in W category, definitely the product of that university will be accepted by the market. Relatively more preference will be given. The example is very obvious, like LUMS, like the FAST and the NUS. Why their graduates get the more jobs as compared to our public sector? Simply because of their institutions, the facilities and the standards which are required to get the accreditation of that particular program are meeting their standards and their market. They have established themselves in the market and the employers prefer their students. Now the quality assurance. Quality assurance is in higher education is to fulfill the minimum expectation level of stakeholders. Now higher education, what are those stakeholders? There are 8 stakeholders in higher education. First one is the government, peers, parents and employers. On the other side, alumni, donors, faculty and students. These are the stakeholders. And we are dealing with the 27 disciplines. Each discipline has its own bare minimum requirements or expectations. Now we are dealing with the H&D. So the H&D students which get this degree, the expectation from those students have a set of criteria which is pinpointed or very clearly written in OBE education system, outcome-based education system. Now HEC is formulating the NCRC and they are converting our education system to OBE, not only to OBE education, but even each course being taught to the students had the linkages with the final outcome of that skill that student must have that one. So it is an interlinked system now, and with the next 2-3 years, each and every discipline will be accredited and will have a very nested curriculum so that the quality of our produce must be enhanced to the international standards. Now the purpose of the accreditation, that is the promote and safeguard the public interest in quality assurance, help the education institution in capacity building, ensure clarity and transparency and quality assurance, and accountability to the public investment, availability of reliable information about the higher education institutions. So this is why we do the accreditation. This is a quality assurance system. What we do at NAEAC level, that we term as a hybrid system. That is a combination of the internal accreditation and the external accreditation. As I have said earlier, that the internal means that your institution is analyzing the situation by itself. In our system, we are asking the institution to nominate a focal person, and we give our toolkit. Toolkit is nothing, it is a booklet or a criteria describing the 8 main criteria and 73 sub-criteria, weightage, the 100 scores, how that is, when we fill that focal person in that one, so basically he is evaluating himself where that institution, that program stands. Different criteria among different criteria. This is a automatic system. You just click on the appropriate level, automatically computer generates the marks in that program. I will be in detail discussing shortly. So while this is internal and self-analysis, and then you see if we go to the external assessment, in the external assessment we get the information from the host institution, and accreditation basically is nothing. It is just the verification of the information provided by the host institution. On-site verification, nothing. And that we do it by hiring a external, for example here it is the human nutrition and dietetics. So we will request a professor or associate professor from any university other than the host institution who is qualifying or who has a lot of experience in human nutrition and dietetics, and we will fix the date in consultation of the host institution, and that fellow will come and verify the information given by them as per the itinerary which we share with them, of course with the institution, and at the end of that he will prepare a report, and report is comprised of the executive summary and introduction of the institution and criteria wise analysis. We have 8 criteria we will be discussing later on, short plus point and negative points, or I said negative point doesn't mean that negative, it means that those areas which need some improvement, that's what I call as a weak areas, and at the end have a set of recommendations where the immediate action is required to meet the bare minimum standard. So that outcome, that is the, we say it as the external evaluation and internal evaluation, and the purpose of both external and evaluation is to improve the skills of the graduates, and to improve that graduate skills we need to plan the quality plan and execute it at our own institution. Now this is the process of registration, accreditation. The first step is the registration. Registration is nothing, it is just the willingness of the institution that they are interested to go through this process. Second, is the awareness seminar where we are today now. We are giving the awareness seminar. And the third one is the institution has to submit the theory information, what is called self-assessment report. Second one is the evaluation manual, and duly filled and by a nominated full person, and then the departmental presentation as per format. These 3 documents are submitted to the NAEAC, and NAEAC have a desk review of that, and if found satisfactory, then we go for the step 5. Fourth step is just the desk review, and 5th step is that we formulate the AIC. AIC, it is just the same as we normally nominate a 2-3 persons from the MS or PhD thesis evaluation, and the vice chancellor take one according to his own wish. We prepare a list of the 4-5 experts related in that discipline and submit to our chairperson. He takes one of them, and then we contact him, and by mutual understanding we make the visit. And that is after the accreditation visit, then we made that is the outcome of that is the report which I have discussed earlier, and then the whatsoever the category is given, according to the category the duration of accreditation is decided. For example, if it is in X and W category, X1 and W category, it is for the period of 4 years, X2 is for a period of 3 years, and X3 for a period of 2 years. And below that, Y and Z, that is considered as deferred program, and we visit that institution on yearly basis so that as quickly as they can meet the required standards. This is our program, how we make the accreditation. This is the process of accreditation. Now my third part of my presentation, that is the program evaluation criteria and standards. That is we have this 8 criteria. First criteria is strength and quality of faculty. We have weighted the maximum number 230. Second is infrastructure and learning resources, 185 marks. Curriculum design and development, 160 marks. Student assessment and evaluation, 110 marks. Student support and progression, 105. Research and advisory activities, 100. Governance and leadership, 60. Stakeholder feedback, 50. In this way, we have a total score of 1000. Or if you see the third column rather, ये standard or number, this is a number which is each category is subdivided into different subcategories, and in this way there are total 73 sub-criteria. So now I will be discussing this 73 sub-criteria one by one. The first main criteria is strength and quality of the faculty. The first sub-criteria is the full-time and part-time faculty, and it carries the 75 marks. We have the matrix of one professor, one associate professor, two assistant professors, and two lecturers for each undergraduate degree program. If any university have this set of 6 persons, that university will get automatically 75 marks. Then we have this next sub criteria is the faculty qualification. If all are PhD, they will get the 30 marks. If someone are MSc, then the number will be calculated. PhD faculty is weightage for 5 marks, MPhil 3 marks, and accordingly how many marks are being get by that institution. That is from maximum 30. Third criteria, that is the teaching learning approaches adopted by the faculty, that carries the 35 marks, and these 35 marks are again subdivided into the 4 further criteria. For example, if it is a lecturer, physical lecturer 20 marks, uses appropriate online instruction techniques, your board or self-reading followed by the class discussion, that is 5 marks, promote analytical and artificial thinking, critical thinking by the giving special assignments on key or hot issues relevant to that subject, 5 marks, get feedback from the student during the semester to ensure the effective learning, 5 marks. This fourth one is very, very critical, and normally it is missing in our society. Normally it is missing. But if some university gives some emphasis on this fourth sub-criteria, it improves a lot learning by the students. And we are emphasizing, and we try to get this information while we are accrediting our degree program by the individual interaction with the faculty and the student. We particularly make the question regarding this one, and we believe that if this 4 or 5 all are adopted, that is excellent, but the particular emphasis is given on the fourth one. And this is a quiz and assignment, that is also one way of judging how the students are absorbing that education which are being imparted to them. And the next one is the training of the faculty members. It carries the 15 marks. It is subdivided into 2 marks. First one is the induction training, and second one is the professional training. Induction training, I mean, for example, if the Sarhad University is hiring a group of the lecturers, they give at the institution level, whatsoever they have the different departments, so they give an overview of the university and how to deal with the students, how to deal with the different messages. That is called as the induction training. If that mechanism exists in that university, that carries the 10 marks. Professional training, I mean, it is the continuation process, and you participate in the seminar, or you arrange your seminars at your university, or take your students with them, exposure them with the different activities. So that is what we term as a professional training. So it carries the 15 marks. The next subdivision is opportunities provided to improve the qualification and career of faculty members. Of course, you have the faculty which is not PhD, and if you are providing them the facility or to improve their education at your university or in the same city or different university or whatever, if such system exists, so we give them 10 marks. And those 10 marks are then subdivided into 2 parts. First one is the qualification uplift, and second one is the timely promotion, TTS based or BPS based. If it is also exists, then 5 marks are given into 10 marks. This is a part of our strength and quality of faculty. The 6th division is the graduate research supervision during the last 3 years. that is the allotment of supervisor policy approved by the BOS. We are of the opinion that still, as far as the H&A is concerned, that portion is still too far. But I mean, there are universities which are giving the education at undergraduate level, and then their students are going to the MSc level. And how at the MSc level the students are divided among the faculty members. So there is a vastness, a chairperson is there, and he is interested to get the top quality students, and this lower one goes to the lower one. So that is where we discourage that one, and we are of the opinion that those must be discussed under the board of studies, so that the consensus, each faculty and the student have a chance to get the research by their own likeliness. And this is not essential that each and every time the chairperson should get the high caliber students. I mean, there must be a mix up, so that each and every student have a fair chance to improve their skills. Then the number of students, that is the MSc is for 5 and 7, and then the PhD for 5, total 12 students. This is HEC criteria. Then the number of books and chapters written by the faculty members during the last 3 years. So we gave them the number. If it is an international publisher, 10 marks, and if it is a national publisher, 5 marks. Similarly, if it is not books but the chapters in books, that is international 5 marks, national 2.5 marks. So in this way, how many books has been written by that department, or how many are the teachers in that faculty or that department, then we divide by them and get the score over there, and the maximum score is 20. Faculty research publication in reputed journal during the last 3 years, we gave them weightage 15 marks. Our minimum requirement is each and every PhD faculty has to produce a quality paper, 1 in a year. If it goes beyond, that is more good, but the bare minimum is 1. Then the participation of faculty in seminar on conferences, it has already been weighted over there, but still again, particularly at the department level or a faculty level, how many seminars arranged, how many participated, and all that weightage is given over here. That is the 10 marks. And last is the awards and recognition received by the faculty member during the last 3 years, if it has a maximum 10 marks. So in this way, we have completed one criteria having the 230 marks. Now this is the second criteria, and second criteria is the infrastructure and learning resources, and it carries the 185 marks. This infrastructure and learning resources is subdivided into the basic infrastructure, which carries the 15 marks, and that basic infrastructure is again subdivided into the classrooms, lectures, research laboratories, faculty offices, audiovisual facilities, computer lab, or any other if there is some more facility. So it carries the 15 marks. The second one is the other relevant infrastructure where applicable, that is the field area, greenhouses, processing hall, baking hall, pack house, hospital attachment. This is important for H&D. Poultry farm, this is not important for this one. We have a software where this information is. When you take over the human nutrition and dietetics, the irrelevant area of the area that will not be displayed over there. Relevant to H&D will be displayed, and accordingly the division will be there of the marks. So we have 15 marks this one. And then the C, that is the support facilities. Then infrastructure is basic infrastructure, allied infrastructure, and then the support facilities. So these are the 3 sub-criteria of infrastructure, you can say. So this carries the 10 marks. So in this way, those 40 marks are how we divide them. Daycare center, medical facility, career placement office, or any other, some universities have more even than. So this is how our infrastructure is divided. Now the second division is the adequacy and quality of lab equipment. If the lab equipment is adequately, when I say the adequacy, it means, for example, if we have a group of 40 students and we are making the 8 groups. So if you are conducting one practical, so 8 equipment must be there so that each group can conduct the experiment at that particular time. This is what I mean, the adequacy. Then the quality of the lab equipment, this is very, very important. And if it is, usually it is quality equipments, but sometimes those are not really considered as a quality equipment. We do give some weightage over there, 5 marks for that purpose. Then the lab equipment utilization and environment of the lab. This is very important. We proposed or said that each equipment should have operational manual. There are very, very costly equipment. So if that manual is not available, there is a probability of mishandling that equipment and that carries the damage to that one. We give that marks to them. Then uses of equipment logbook, that is we refer that each equipment must have a logbook over there. Whensoever you use that equipment, you just write down your name and time and sign it. So that will ensure that equipment is working properly, and it will also be easy to identify who is the person who mishandled that equipment, and resultantly that equipment went out of order. So in that way, we are emphasizing on use of equipment, logbook equipment. Then of course, cleanliness is very important. We gave some weightage over there also. Lab safety procedures, manual written instructions displayed. So this is also very important. Sometimes some equipment, some chemicals are very dangerous. How to handle those equipment. So this is why we give some weightage over here, 20 marks for this purpose. The fourth subdivision is the availability and qualification of lab staff. This is also very important. If you have the faculty members less as per requirement, so you can train your staff, and that staff is trained for that particular conducting of that experiment. This will help you relax the concerned teacher, and once the teacher has demonstrated, the other work is being taken care of by the lab staff. So we have given some weightage over here. Also, we have given the diploma holders. Normally, they are not the diploma holders really, they are just immatriculate and all. But we recommend whatsoever you have hired, it's okay, but trained them by the faculty members to conduct those experiments. Make them master to conduct that experiment, so they can be helpful for your long time. They will be able to have the skills to demonstrate to the students, and students can get guidance from them. Then this is also very important. Sometimes with the passage of time, the advancements are there, the equipments are coming. So it is the responsibility of the institution to train that particular lab staff for that particular. For example, if we are talking about the molecular genetics or molecular biology, there are PCRs and gel documentation and all those are the advanced equipments are coming in. So to train them so that equipment must be handled very carefully. So this is what we have given the weightage over here. Then the lab safety measures, we give some 10 marks to them, and we are also of the opinion that the safety measures must be displayed in the lab, and there must be a lab safety measures available and operational. For example, fire and all that. Availability of the first aid kit, that is also the first aid kit must be available if some injury goes on, so you can treat immediately there. So this is also part of our accreditation. Annual budget, we are of the opinion that the HOD or the chairperson or chairman, whosoever at the level, must have some budget at his or her disposal, so that he or she can purchase the chemicals or the glasswares or whatsoever required for conducting the particular practical. If it is not at her disposal or his disposal, then it takes long time to get those equipment or the glassware and all those. So this creates the hindrance for the smooth running of the practical. 7 was the main library annual report, and this is a normally each and library has in the center, each university has, but we are of the opinion that at least the reference books must be available to the students and must be available there, and on yearly basis latest books must be added over there. Although if it is not on hard form, now it is a era of digitalization, so digital access should be there for the latest books over there. Then the textbooks and reference books, of course, if it is hard, that's good. If it is not hard, then at least the soft copies must be available. Good universities already have started to prepare their own CDs and share those CDs with the students who can study over there. And by the way, it is also the responsibility of the teacher to compel the student to read that book. This is because the students are away from reading the books, or even while sitting in the classroom, they are not very much attentive. I will be just discussing later on. So to compel the students to, or rather compel is not really a good word, to create the interest in the student so that whatsoever you are teaching, they must go inside more and get the information related to that in addition to what you have taught to him. So to create that interest in the student, that is the responsibility of the teacher, so that the students take the interest in that one and teach and get the information by themselves. Then the library equipment and facilities, that is the computer, photocopiers are available over there, and if the student get there and want to get a copy of that one, he can get, of course, by paying more whatsoever it is decided by the management. Then the library space, normally we are recommending that 10 to 15 square foot per student. So at least 40% of the total capacity of the students can sit one time in that library space. This is our requirement. Then the faculty and students' opinion about the quality of services provided by the library. In fact, this was not a part of our sub-criteria. We have added it in last January 2023. And we are expecting that the librarians are the qualified and they have a special degree in that. So their responsibility is to attract the student and the faculty himself and involve them in reading the books and journals and all that. So that's why we have added this one also. Then the website of the institution, if you have, we will give the 5 marks, maintained, updated, maintained but not updated, no website, no marks. So in this way, we have added this one. The last infrastructure is experimental area and farm. In your case, it is only the hospitals and total number of hospitals involved in this case. Of course, again, when you will be specifying human nutrition and dietetics, so these some of the areas will not appear in your notebook while you will be identifying. Now this is we have finished our 2 criteria. Now this is a 3rd criteria. 3rd criteria is the curriculum design and development, and it carries 160 marks. And here we are trying to move towards the OBE, outcome-based education. That's why we have added this one as 10 marks. Each department, each degree program should have very clearly written the vision and mission of that institution. Not only the approved by the BOS, but also displayed at the appropriate place, so that you have eye contact on daily basis, and you can evaluate by yourself, and the students can evaluate by themselves that whatsoever we are teaching, either we are going to obtain that skills. Then the program educational objectives and program learning outcomes. This is also a part and parcel of our accreditation process. Then the significance and relevance of degree program. This is normally when you initiate a degree program, of course you write the introduction of that one, how it is important and how their products will be saleable in the market. So if it is justified or not, that is the fully, partially or none, we have given 10 marks for this purpose. Then the curriculum itself. There are 10 qualities which must be fulfilled by these curriculum contents. The first one is the approved by the statutory bodies and notified by the registrar office. Normally what it happens in the public sector and private sector both, that it is approved by the appropriate body but it is not notified by the registrar office. Notification by the registrar office is the requirement of the accreditation, and we give it some marks, some weightage to this one. Secondly, technically sound and well structured. For example, if you are teaching a subject, so firstly it starts from its introduction, then going into details along with the allied subjects, and at the end the latest development in that particular area. So syllabus or the contents of curriculum in that particular area should be like this, starting from the zero, going up to the maximum with the maximum inputs of the teachers and all that. We prefer that the teacher is the key person who can add or delete from the contents of those courses, who he understands that this is obsolete at this time and this is the required in that particular course. So we give some weightage over there. Then compatible with the emerging needs, benchmark with the national and international courses. For example, HND we are teaching, so the HND is not only in Pakistan degree, it is the degree all over the world. So there are which the important degrees universities are what they are teaching under their curriculum. So that benchmarking, this is also the responsibility, mainly responsibility of NCRC, HEC, but we encourage at the teacher level that they can also think over on this, and if he finds some deficiency, he is allowed to amend their contents according to his or her sweet will up to 25%. So HE doesn't mind for that purpose. Now the next is the adequate integration with the information technology. This is very important because compatible with the educational objectives जो हैं उसके साथ हो, और साथ ही ये जो क्योंकि इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी आज हर फील्ड में आ रही है, ईच एंड एवरी फील्ड. सो ट्राई टू ट्रेन योर स्टूडेंट्स हाउ द IT कैन बी हेल्पफुल इन दैट पर्टिकुलर केस. Flexible to offer the sufficient choices of for the students elective and minor courses. This has been done in the undergraduate policy recently adopted by the HEC and all institutions. Then improve the communication skills. How do we improve? We give these seminars to them, ask the student to present their topic and all that. How this is how we can improve that one. This is very improve the attitude. This is the responsibility of the teacher to evaluate a student, how the student is behaving. There are some students which are very much keen to learn, but there are some students which are sitting on behind on the class and playing on the mobile. So while you are marking and you are evaluating that student, must keep the attitude of that particular in your overall evaluation system, so that the students are aware that we are being watched by the teacher, and at the end of the day when we will be giving the marks, there are marks which beside the whatsoever you have written, still viva voce is there in practical classes where their attitude will count for getting the number in that particular subject. This is why we have included over here, and here it is very essential. The role of the teacher is very important. Then the focus on ethical norms and all that, this is also a part of our criteria. Then the curriculum revision, I have almost discussed earlier. We are of the opinion that at every 3 to 4 years that must be some revised over there. And if this process is there, and while you are revising, the requirement is that you get it approved by your board of studies, board of faculty, academic council, because their authority is the academic council to approve that one. Then the meeting of statutory bodies, this is the board of studies, faculty board, advanced studies and graduate research board. academic council, syndicate. Our requirement is minimum 2 meetings of each statutory body. But board of study is a very basic, and we encourage that each and every aspect of related to the department, they should discuss it. While discussing in the board of studies, you will improve your working environment and build the confidence of your employees and the students that each and every aspect is being taken care of. Then the admission policy, our policy is that we allow the 50%. Below 50% admission, NAEAC discourage that one. And there are some councils which are giving the penalty to the institution, but we are not yet, but we are encouraging the institution, please do not admit any student who have a less than 50% marks in FSC pre-medical or pre-engineering or ICOM or whatsoever it is. Then there is a criteria and mechanism of student getting the feedback. Any institutional mechanism, normally it is the QEC, which is getting the information back from the students for the course contents and the teacher, how the teacher is teaching. This is normally adopted. I hope you have also adopted this one. And then this is the evidence of the record. Each and every activity must have a proof that you have done that job. This is how we evaluate the curriculum design and development. Lastly is the students' feedback about the curricula. Innovative and updated, course covered, practicals and all that. This is a 10 marks, we give this one. Then the students' internship record, that is, we are of the opinion that the 8th semester must be fixed, or there should be no coursework in 8th semester. The students should go in the field. I mean, in your case it is the hospital or it is the clinics, nutrition clinics, where they should apply their knowledge practically. And in this way, we are encouraging the institutions that they should establish a smart room, in a small room, advisory nutrition and dietitian center कह लें कि वो स्टूडेंट्स वहाँ और टीचर वहाँ पे बैठे हैं जो आपके अपने स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन वो आएँ आपसे एडवाइस हासिल करें, और इससे वो स्टूडेंट्स का भी भला होगा और जो आपके स्टूडेंट हैं उनको भी लर्निंग का प्रोसेस का पता चलेगा कि कैसे बेसिक डिग्री की जाती है. तो ये हम इनकरेज करते हैं. बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन ने इसको अडॉप्ट भी किया हुआ है. जब आप एक कमरा कर देते हैं, टाइमिंग फिक्स कर देते हैं, उस टाइमिंग में टीचर स्टूडेंट्स कैन गेट गो देयर एंड गेट कंसल्टेशन. Then the faculty workload, we recommend the professor 3 to 6 credit hour, associate professor 6 to 9, assistant professor 10 to 12 credit hours, lecturer 12 to 14 credit hours. This is the recommendation of HEC. If you are following, you are getting the 10-15 marks. Then the student-teacher ratio, we recommend one teacher 20 students, you get the maximum marks, but if you go beyond that, you lose some marks. Then the completion of courses, this is very important, where you give the course contents at the beginning of the semester and you follow their weekly distribution and all that, and you complete your course, and this we get the information while we are interviewing the students and the teacher, and we give some weightage over here. Then the fourth criteria, we have finished the theory, and now this is the fourth criteria, that is the student assessment and evaluation. And here we have the knowledge testing, means the theoretical part. It is the same, we give the final exam, complete course, and we recommend that some portion of mid should also be included in the final. Project seminars and quizzes and assignments, this is where we give the 40 marks in accreditation. This is not your practical theory numbers, this is our weightage to accreditation process. Skill assessment. The current scenario is that we evaluate the students as we evaluate in the theory. What we do in the theory? We prepare a question paper and give to the students, and student answer that on the answer sheet, and we evaluate the student according to their reply. For practical, mostly the practice is that we give a question paper from the contents of the practical contents of that course, and student write it as it is written in the question paper, in the theory paper. We discuss this practice, and we are of the opinion, do not give the question paper to them, ask them to perform a practical as we do in the FSC, biology, physics and chemistry, and that student must perform that practical by himself, and the teacher should evaluate as per his results. This is one way. Another way we advocate is that, okay, if you are not, you do the evaluation of each student at the time of undertaking that practical in the class, in groups or individually. In that way, each student will have the 16 evaluation at the end of that semester. Make the average of that particular student of those 16 evaluation and give them marks in the practical class. The attendance must be 100% in practical classes, and since there will be no time to repeat that practical, the students will be bound to attend that class. And this is not a new thing, it is already being practiced by the LUMs and FAST in our country. So student can miss the theory, but they never miss the practical class, because learning by doing is much more effective as compared to the learning by memorizing. So this is how we are emphasizing over here. And of course we give the practical manual developed and available. We give some weightage of record of practical assessment during the practical work, and logbook available. This is what I have explained earlier. Industry visit reports and all that. So in this way we give the skill assessment 60% weightage for the practical work, and the 10% weightage to the attitude, which I have explained earlier. Now coming towards the fifth criteria, that is the student support and progression. The first one is the annual intake of the students, how many students it is increasing or decreasing trend, then semester-wise students, and then highest CGPA and average CGPA of the class, and then the number of scholarship. We are of the opinion that at least 20% of the students should get the financial assistance for each class. This is our criteria, but you can go up or down whatsoever the situation is. Then the hostel facilities, we give some weightage in accreditation for the boys and girls separately, or even there are some universities which do not have the hostel at their campus, but they are hiring the campus privately and managing it by the university or by the institution. So we give some weightage over there too. Then support facilities, we have a list over here: swimming pool, gym, playground, indoor games, and all that, coordination and sports staff and all that. We give the 10 marks over here. Then the transport facilities, we give the 10 marks over here. Then the common room, particularly for female students, there must be a common room and prayer room where they can sit and pray. Similarly, then the convocation hall, we give some weightage for this infrastructure too. Counseling for male and female students separately, there must be a supervisor or the advisor for each semester. So whensoever they have personal or academic problems, student can go directly to that fellow or that teacher and share their problem, and the teacher must be available to guide them, and this is very much helpful for the students. Some students really need this guidance, such type of guidance. Then the students' interaction with the teachers, we give 5 marks. Then the student attendance record, some universities include the LMS, they are online, but still they have the physical record whatsoever. But everyone, this record is very essential, and normally we have the 75%, below 75% we do not allow. the students. Now the 11th subdivision is opportunity resources for students to participate in seminar conferences during the last 3 years. How many seminars have been conducted, how many students participated, and all that we give the 5 marks. Then involvement of students in community services. This I mean if you have the practical projects in your department and you have the community activities. So we encourage that to involve the students in that particular activities. This will help the student to learn more. So this is why we have added over here. Then the student services, I mean the drinking water, quality of food services, cleanliness, or all that. This is important, and this is given 5 marks. This is we have finished our 5 criteria. Now this is the 6th criteria, research and advisory activities. It carries the 100 marks. If you see, if someone has the competitive research grant received from HEC or other resources, we give the 50 marks to them. Just by having one research project at your institution, you get the 50 marks. And the other 50 marks are subdivided into major research focus, identified, continuity of the research. For example, if one is working on the enzyme, and they are continuously working on the enzymology of that particular subject. So in this way, assess while we are interviewing with the faculty member. Then we have the academic collaboration. You have the international collaboration or national collaboration. We have weightage 7 for international, 3 for national. And what kind of collaboration you have? You can have a webinar, seminar, whatsoever. So this gives some industrial collaboration. In your case, industrial collaboration is also includes the hospital interaction, MOUs, their visits, their internships, or all that. Then the seminar on conferences organized and participated. This is the 3rd place where we are emphasizing that the seminar and conferences for the professional training, for student training, and also over here you have the research and you have their outcome and you have the results of that. To disseminate that research information and that result outcome, have the seminar involving the stakeholder. This is what we are emphasizing.